Hi, how are you today, friends? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. My name is BaileySarian, and today is Monday, which means it's Murder, Mystery, and Makeup Monday! If you are new here, hi, how are you? Every Monday I sit down and talk about a true crime story that's been heavy on my noggin, and I do my makeup at the same time. My nose itches. Not doing drugs. If you're interested in true crime and you like makeup, I would highly suggest you hit the subscribe button because I'm here for you on Mondays. So do you like my Halloween backdrop? I'm probably gonna add some like light back here because you can't really, it needs more light. It needs more light. Okay. So I wanted to pop in here really quick and just kind of give you a heads up of what today's episode is, and also apologize for not uploading the bonus video I had mentioned in last Monday's video. To make a long story short, the editing didn't get done in time, and then it just didn't get done in time. It was a total bummer. I'm really sorry about that because I was like, bonus video, and then it didn't happen. So I felt like an idiot, but that's okay. Yeah, so I decided to upload the bonus video today. It's still true crime related. There's still makeup going on. You'll see. Calm your tits. But I wanted to hop in here and say sorry about that little hiccup. And then I also wanted to mention that I did a collab with Loud Lacquer nail polish. I had posted the promo video we did on my YouTube. I'll link it down below if you're interested in seeing it. But I released 4 different nail colors with Loud Lacquer. This is one of them. This is Saint and Antidote. It's the Aqua Tofana collection, which is available right now. You get 4 nail polishes, and I think you're really gonna like it. Again, in my description box, I'll also post where you can find that if you're interested. Okay, so today's video though, I had a special guest come on and talk to me about true crime, tell me a story while I attempted to do my makeup, my eyeshadow. Then it just turned into a little bit of a conversation as well. And it was definitely different. I've never done something like this before, so I wasn't even sure. That's why I wanted to upload it as a bonus video. I've never done a Monday video with anybody else other than myself, so I wasn't even sure like how it was gonna work out, and I was also really nervous. I couldn't believe it that I was talking to none other than Nancy Flippin' Grace. Yeah, I said it. It's probably in the title too. I don't know yet. But Nancy Grace wanted to sit down and talk about a new series that she's been working on. I hope you enjoy today's little collab video. Next week, don't worry, we will fully begin the Halloween looks and whatnot. I will stop rambling and let's just get into it. It's Nancy Grace. Wild. Hi Nancy, how are you today?
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so thrilled to be with you.
I am so honored that you're doing this with me. I mean, you are somebody that I have watched for many, many years. I was feeling very nervous at first because it's like 2 worlds are colliding and it's just so strange, but I'm so happy you're here and I know my audience is going to be so excited as well. Can't wait to hear about what you've been working on.
I've been working a lot on bloodline detectives.
Yes, I've been hearing all about it. I'm very excited to watch the show. And today you're going to be telling me a story, which I'm very excited about because I actually get to listen to a story and do my makeup.
This is the story of a beautiful young 30-ish lady. Her name is Jody. I call her Jody, but it's formerly Jodine. Jody Serrin. She lived in Carlsbad, California. Gorgeous, and she had the Farrah Fawcett hair, you know, the beautiful smile.
Yes.
Now, the thing about Jodine was she was learning disabled. She functioned fine on her own. She had her own condo. Was beautifully kept, but she did need people to give her rides. Okay, it was very hard for her to negotiate multiple lanes of traffic. She couldn't do that. So Jodine Serrin, and she's the kind of woman that when she would write you, like with an email or text or actual letter, she would always write a poem. And sometimes they'd be elaborate, and sometimes they'd be roses are red, violets are blue. I want you to know today God is with you. She's at home alone in her condo. Her parents come by. The parents go at the door. Nobody comes. Ring, the whole thing. She doesn't pick up her cell phone, nothing. The father gets worried. The father and mother get very worried. The father uses the pass key. They have a key to her apartment, and they try to get in, and the chain is on, which means it had to be locked from within. Then they know something's horribly wrong. The dad breaks down the door to the condo. He comes in, he races up to Jody's bedroom, and there is a guy having sex with his daughter. I mean, she's up in her 30s, you know. He goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and shuts the door. And he comes down and tells the mom, she's with a guy. I think I know him. Just let's wait for them. So they sit there and wait for them to, you know, get their clothes back on and come out. Well, Jody never comes out. Goes back up. Jodine Serrin is dead. And not only that, she had been dead for at least 10 hours, which means the killer was a necrophiliac. He was actually molesting the dead body.
Wait, so the dad walked in on him having sex with his dead daughter?
But he didn't realize his daughter was already dead. She had been dead.
Oh, my gosh.
And, of course, you being a true crime aficionado know that based on the ambient temperature in the room compared with the rapidly descending temperature of the human body, you can determine the time and cause of death.
Right.
Not cause, the time of death. So it was determined based on those factors and others that she had been dead 10 hours before the father and mother even got there and found a guy what they thought was having sex with their daughter. And when the dad runs back up, let's say 5-10 minutes passes, the daughter's there, the man is gone. Interesting, no forced entry. So how did he get in?
So where'd he go out? Yeah, did he leave out the window?
I don't know how he got out. I don't know. He had to have gone out a window or somehow gotten by them to get out of the apartment very quietly. It's probably the same way he got in, very quietly, except one telltale clue, which has always disturbed me about this case. Jody, like myself, I do not like people clomping around our home in their shoes. So there was a pair of men's shoes at the front, when you open the front door, on the inside of the condo. She told somebody to take their shoes off, or somebody knew to take their shoes off. So they call the police get there, they start analyzing the crime scene.
So it was someone that she knew then, because she invited them into the house and they took off their shoes. What's assumed, right?
That's what I would think. Now, that is a matter of degree. How well do you know you mentioned your fiance, okay? How well do you know his siblings? How well do you know his friends? How well do you know their friends? You know them, like you go, hey, but you don't really know them. So
That's true, and they come in and they take off their shoes. So it's like that doesn't necessarily mean that she maybe knew him.
Exactly. So here we've got DNA, we've got sperm. They put it in CODIS, and again, you being the sleuther, you know that means the combined DNA index system, where whenever you commit a felony, you have to give a mouth swab, or it can be a blood test, and your DNA is forever in the DNA data bank. A lot of people for their jobs have to give a DNA or a fingerprint, and that's how there is a CODIS. So they try to match up the sperm, the DNA in the sperm. No match. Now, what does that mean?
Really?
That means that either the perp has never committed a crime, has committed crimes but was never caught, or committed crimes before CODIS was instituted and they started routinely taking DNA. Could be any of those, which basically tells me nothing. So fast forward, we come up with DNA cutting edge technology. I'm trying to think of a way to tell you about it. It's not DNA technology. It's more like a snapshot. You get a snapshot of the perp. And the way they do it is they can tell, for instance, not necessarily your identity, but they can say, oh, this person is very, very fair-skinned. Oh, this person, it's called phenotyping, has light blue eyes. This person has red hair. This person is a white male. They can basically reconstruct your face to an extent with phenotyping. So they did that. They at least figured out it was a white male, fair-skinned, bluish eyes. They knew that much.
It's crazy that they could get that information just based off of DNA. Like I know in some cases they were able to get even last names just based off of the DNA samples or the phenotyping.
Yeah, the way that worked, the female scientist had access to a data bank that she created this software where she would put in DNA and it would rifle through and come up with potential names. And the way they do the phenotyping is they take something called the Y profile. Like, I know you know about mitochondrial DNA, where the mother's DNA can identify you. This is the Y DNA. This is the male donor match to your DNA. And we don't hear about it as much, but anyway, that's how you get phenotyping. Still no answer, even though it was run through the phenotyping software. Didn't get anything. Time passes, time passes. Long story short, along comes familial DNA. That's what really cracked this case wide open. Doing the matchup with the phenotyping, that scientist came up with about 10 or so names. Based on phenotyping, they ruled out one name, and they thought that it was like, I think they said they thought that the guy must have come from Greece or Turkey and would not have been fair-skinned with blue eyes and red hair. So they ruled that phenotype out. They started looking at that name out. They started looking at the other names. Then comes familial DNA, such as was used in the Golden State Killer case. When they did that, they found the name Dave Murrieta. Dave Murrieta was a transient with a meth problem, did not hold on to a job, lived in and about the area. He had relatives in the area. And catch this, sometime before, he had been questioned about another crime, a robbery. And the cops said, hey, do you mind if I take your picture and get your DNA? And so he said, no. And they did. But because he turned out not to be the robber in that case, it was never put in CODIS. It just sat there. So all that time, there's the DNA sitting there. And when they started looking at these names that came out of the software program and saw that, they raced. They went to go get him. They find out he had just killed himself.
Oh my gosh.
Then they had to try to find that long ago taken mouth swab to give the family some peace. And guess what? They put it together over 10 years later. They cracked the case.
No way.
Jody, Serrin's killer was caught, and he's dead. We don't have to worry about him putting his foot through your kitchen window.
Wow. I mean, how come they didn't put his DNA into the system sooner?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
No, I don't either. See, something like that, it can be a week from now, and I'll have an agitated outburst because it was just that much longer the family had to suffer. The family, the mom says she has Jody's picture up. And every time she comes into the home, she speaks to Jody. And when I think about all the years that they suffered, but it was solved. It was ultimately solved by investigators that never gave up. Yes, that was a major screw up by a different police department that did not put it in. Like, oh, it's not him. We found the robber. I thank God in heaven they saved the oral swab. And one day didn't say, oh, this is not associated with anything. I'm going to throw it out. Oh. In many other cases, when familial DNA is isolated, you then have to get the DNA from who you think it is. I was talking to Paul Holtz. Remember him? He's the investigator that worked the Golden State Killer case, one of many, but he was a lead investigator. It's not that they find DNA and it links straight to you. They can find DNA dating back to and they have to work it all the way back to, say, the 1800s. And then go, okay, you're married to you, and you come down, okay, this is linked in, you come down. It's very tedious to use familial DNA. But because of it, we are now solving cases that have long been believed to be unsolvable. And can I tell you from personal experience, my fiance was murdered shortly before our wedding. And I dropped out of school. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was studying to be an English Shakespearean literature professor, but I knew I could never go and stay in a classroom again. I just couldn't. I had to do something. When I finally went back, it was to become a crime fighter, a prosecutor. So I know what happened to Keith. He was at a construction site where he was working over the summer. He left at lunchtime to go get soft drinks for everybody because they were out in a field. When he came back in, a guy that had worked for the construction company and gotten fired before Keith started working there was standing there, sees the company truck, and unloads and murders him for nothing.
What? I'm so sorry.
The part of that is relevant now is that I know what happened. At least I have that. Jodine's family had nothing. Their last memory was Dad coming and walking in on what he thought was a make-out session. And it was anything but, and the guilt he must have felt all that time. And the mom, too. We let him get away. How did he get away?
Yeah.
He was right upstairs. Now he's gone. So the guilt and the suffering they must have lived through all those years. It's horrible.
I know. I personally try not to read too many unsolved cases because they keep me up at night, just because it's like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine how the victims' families feel and just not getting answers, and then that's it. It's just never solved again.
And it goes cold, and it takes either very, very dedicated detectives who are when I was prosecuting, I would come in from, say, a 2-week, 3-week trial calendar where I hadn't even been in my office at all for that period of time. I'd come back in, and there would be a stack of brand new files, maybe 150 of them, on my desk, so tall they fell over and cascaded over the other side of the desk. I just looked, I can't believe that I've got to take care of all that right now, to either plead it out, investigate it, or try it. There's so many cases, and it's hard for detectives, especially in small jurisdictions. They have to deal with the current cases plus the cold cases. That's a lot.
It's so much. And then you have those investigators who aren't doing their jobs for Lord knows why.
Every office has them. I remember when I would literally run down the hall at the courthouse, and we had a ramp going to the cafeteria. I'd say, okay, wait, I want to slow down, so I don't want to go like a cannonball down this ramp. And I would go in there and grab coffee, or real hot tea actually, with milk in it. And when I turned around, and there'd be the same group of investigators sitting there drinking coffee every time I went in there. Whether it was to get coffee in the morning, to get a thing of soup at lunch. I'm like, why are they always there smoking and drinking coffee? Don't they have anything to do? Well, apparently not.
Ugh, they always do, but they'd rather just sit around for some reason. It drives me nuts. Yeah, and it just feels like there's nothing you can do.
It's a feeling
like, what
of
can
powerlessness.
We do?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked that. In Bloodline Detectives, which I'm so proud of, we detail all these cases that have been cracked by DNA advances, miraculous DNA advances based on blood. In the here and now, I've reported on so many different kind of cases, child attacks, home invasions, robberies gone wrong, like what was ever right with it to start with. That's why I wrote the book. I ended the book with protecting our elderly. My mom lives with us now after my dad passed away, and she was hacked. She gets robocalls, kept giving money to some fake orphanage that doesn't exist. I mean, she's truly a little old lady, and somebody is conning her. So I even have a chapter on that, about what can we do. I'm like you. I don't want to just report on it or talk about it. I want to do something about it. And that's very important to me.
Me too. I mean, I feel like that's why people love you so much, is because you just kind of say what everyone's thinking, but you're also looking for ways to actually help and prevent things from happening, or what we can do versus here's the story. Okay, have a good day.
And next. That's what, and they're telling you this horrible story, and then they go, and in other news. It's not just news. These are real stories with real people.
What do you say to people who are against giving their DNA samples? Because I know a lot of people think it's a privacy concern. They don't want to give the government their DNA.
I understand why people are afraid and why they don't want to do it. But when it comes down to cracking cases and solving mysteries like this, murders, and remember the people that gave the DNA, which turned out to be Murrieta's son and wife, gave their DNA after he killed himself. They were asked to give DNA, and they did willingly. Just imagine that a case is solved because your distant relative is guilty. It's not about you, it's about him.
How did the family feel? Did they know that their husband or their father was doing this?
No idea. They were, can you imagine? And there's a very poignant moment in Bloodline Detectives where the families speak and talk about the Serrins, Jodine Serrin's family, and the killer, Murrieta's family. Totally innocent son, had no idea, the wife had no idea what had happened, not even a clue. So that was especially devastating. Can you imagine if somebody you love has already passed away and then you're confronted with evidence that they were not at all what you thought they were? They were in fact a killer of all things.
I would have I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do.
I wouldn't believe it. I would not believe if anybody told me anything bad about my dad, I'd give him a knuckle sandwich, no mayo. But it's, it's hard to fight with. It's hard to fight. Let me tell you what this match was. I think it was 1 in 64 quintillion match.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't even know that was a real number. I thought I made that up when I was like 8. Quintillion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real.
So what would you say is one of those cases that just sticks with you, that you think about often?
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you a case that has always stuck with me. And it happened there in California. It's a case, and I talk about it in Don't Be a Victim, of Matthew Checky. Gorgeous little boy, just a little angel. He had gone to a picnic, a family reunion picnic on the beach in California. His aunt walked him to the public bathroom, and she waited outside. And then she waited and waited. She went in, and someone had murdered this little boy. I mean,
what?
Of all things, why would you do that? Why?
How do you stay positive, I guess, or not just go completely mental with all this bad around you all the time?
Well, I got to tell you, after my fiance, Keith, was murdered and I became a crime fighter, I was totally consumed with mourning him and grief for many, many years. I didn't care about anything, nothing, except putting bad guys behind bars where they need to be. Every time a jury would say guilty, it wasn't jubilation or celebration. I didn't feel that. I'd feel like this. Whew. One down. And I would go get the next file. There was never a break. I didn't want a break. I wanted as many cases, as many violent crimes as I could possibly handle. With each case, I would feel that I was putting a Band-Aid on the victim's family, but what I didn't get, I was really putting the Band-Aid on me, because it made me feel a little stronger, a little better, a little more empowered. And I did that for, as you know, over 10 years. Now here's the kicker. It took me, over 20 years since his murder before I could reconcile myself to consider remarriage or children, which is what I really wanted. But every time I thought about it or tried to take a step toward, it would just throw me into a horrible depression. I just couldn't do it. Finally did it, and that took a lot. When I remember walking down the aisle, and I looked at David, and my dad was with me. My dad lived to walk me down the aisle, which he never thought was going to happen. And for just one moment, I really wanted to run the other way. And I didn't. But now I have the twins, John, David, and Lucy. And because of them, it has shifted my focus from a time I didn't even care about myself. Now, all I think about is the joy I can give them or create for them. And it's really changed my life. It's the best thing that's happened to me on this earth. I am devoted to protecting them and taking care of them for the rest of my life.
Aw, I love that.
Another thing you said about how you keep going and how you I think it's your focus. It internalize all the facts, the DNA, the legal arguments, the nuance of the case, the details of the case, but everything is evidence. Where is it going to get me? How can I use this? I'm always thinking about building the case. Do we have the right perp? Who is the perp? What are my clues? What is my evidence? Who do I think it is? How can I narrow that down? It's like a million questions happening at once. That's the way, the only way I can evaluate the cases and keep going.
Does it ever bleed into your personal life though?
Every day.
Where maybe I know I have such a hard time finding a balance. I'm that girl at a party who will tell you everything about a serial killer or a recent killing. And sometimes it can be a little much for people, and I just don't know how to shut it down.
What's wrong with them? If I'm not talking about murder at a dinner party, I have to leave. That's
what I'm
boring.
saying. I know. I'm like, isn't it fascinating to you guys? Like, don't you want to know?
It's
and
like
I just don't understand when people don't like it.
It's a puzzle to me, and I love it. In fact, that was an after effect of being, in the DA's office. If I'm not talking about crime, I'm just not interested unless I'm talking to the twins about what happened at school. Oh, and P.S., I've already driven through their parking lot today to make sure nobody's blown the place up. At school, yeah, that's right. And I have
feel like
on
I
my
would be that
phone
person.
their schedule. I know what class they're in it makes me feel better. It does change the way you live because
What's going to happen when they start dating?
What? When? Who?
What's gonna? I don't know. Are you gonna be like, come here?
When
I need
they
to interview
turn
you
35, they can do whatever they want to.
What about Casey Anthony?
Oh,
I.
You know what?
I am so surprised that she. This sounds mean, but I'm still surprised that no one has kicked her ass or beat her up.
No, the worst thing the most they've done is buy her shots when she shows up at bars in a pair of hot pants. It sounds like what was happening while we were looking for Kelly. Remember that?
Yes,
yes.
I remember watching
Kelly, and so Tot Mom Casey Anthony looked under every bar stool in Orlando trying to find her.
I think that's the most frustrating case to me because it's obvious she did it, and then she had the balls to blame her father.
Oh, wait, I got to tell you something about her dad and mom, George and Cindy Anthony. I know they hated me the whole trial. I'm fine with that. I'm not in this to be voted Miss Sweet Potato Queen, Miss Congeniality at the end of the trial. Don't care. But I've met with them, and I've got to tell you, the world saw them at the worst time of their lives. They had really taken Kelly in. They were the ones working the long hours to support Kelly and Tot Mama. She sat on the sofa having chips all day long. So they loved Kelly as if she were their own child. They were all about Kelly and raising Kelly. Cindy wanted to take Kelly and let Tot Mom just go do her own thing, go, party on. Long story short, I've met with them. The world saw them with the media literally in their front yard. They were in the process of losing not only their granddaughter, but their daughter.
Yeah.
And it looked awful. Did not do them justice. They're actually really nice people. And this has just been a horrible dark cloud over them that just doesn't seem to lift. They've really been to hell and back. I feel really badly for them. I like the Anthonys, both of them.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having to deal with a loss of your grandchild and then having to face that maybe your own daughter may have done it. I don't know how any of us would act, honestly. I hate when the media kind of rips them apart because it's like, well, how would you act in that situation?
Do you remember that night that, I think it was in the afternoon actually because it was daylight hours as I recall the video, George Anthony comes outside and I thought he was going to deck a reporter. They were in his yard, like hundreds of reporters out there, all up by his door, all around. He couldn't even walk up the driveway without them approaching him and yelling. And he had a fit. He really blessed him out and yelled at him. And that clip was shown over and over and over. And I was showing it one night on the HLN program. And I looked at his face and I thought, that poor guy. This was before the case had been cracked and Kelly had been found. What that family was living through. I mean, but I'll tell you another thing. Now, how did I know this? Okay, I know this because the bail bondsman, one of them that was working on the case, had a female colleague that was supposed to be watching Tot Mom because, you know, she got arrested on something minor. She made bond, and they were staying with her. So that female bondsman says when Tot Mom Casey Anthony gets bonded out of jail, this is before they find the body, comes in, the first thing she said, "What'd you make for dinner, Mom?" Oh, I would totally tell that in court. Absolutely tell that. And if that did not reach a jury, I would have definitely told the jury that. Not, "What have you learned about Kelly? I can't eat, I can't think, I can't sleep. Where is Kelly? You got to help me. We got to go out right now. I can't stay on the sofa. I got to get up, got to go." What mom in their right mind would not be out there beating the street, begging, screaming, going on TV? "Where's my baby? Where's my baby?
A guilty
What'd
mom.
you cook for dinner, Mom?"
I mean, I still, till this day, I don't quite understand how she wasn't found guilty at all. Like, it never made sense to me. And that whole case just will keep me up.
This is what I think happened. I don't believe she meant necessarily to kill Kelly. I think that she was making homemade chloroform and dosing Kelly. She was dosing her to make her sleep and would put her in the car trunk or put her somewhere alone and make her sleep so Tot Mom, could be free. She was using either chloroform, because there were the searches for how do you make homemade chloroform, or it could have been at some points Benadryl. I don't know what all she may have been using, but I think she used something, probably chloroform, to dose Kelly, and she had duct taped her.
Jeez.
And she died. She died. Now, that in itself is felony murder. It's actual malice murder, because the law presumes you intend the natural consequence of your act. For instance, I use this with a jury. You pick up a piece of fine china, you know, the kind you can kind of see through, and throw it to the cement floor, and you went, "Oh, I didn't mean to break it." Well, the law presumes you intended to break it. That's the natural consequence of your act. If I hold a gun up to you and pull the trigger and shoot you, I'm like, "Oh, I was just trying to scare her." No, the law presumes you intend the natural consequence of your act. So you chloroform a 2-year-old baby girl and wrap her face in duct tape and leave her in the car trunk, and she dies, that's murder.
Jeez, I didn't even think about that. She probably was putting a homemade chloroform on her and making her go to bed.
That's my
I always thought it
best
was just
guess.
maybe like Benadryl, but that makes more sense.
Yeah, which, when you said Benadryl, I write about, that's in here, believe it or not, because when I started researching babysitters and nannies from hell and daycare dangers, what to spot, what to look for, how to protect your child, there were many, many cases where daycares, and especially these unlicensed home babysitters that have like 4 or 5 children in the home, they dope the children up with Benadryl and make them, they fall asleep and take naps so they don't have to deal with them all day long. And there have been several fatalities because of that.
Oh my goodness.
There are lots of cases like that where the child dies. They OD, or they are in a position like, let's just say a car seat. You let the child sleep in a car seat. And they're so whacked out on Benadryl, they do that, and then they die of positional asphyxia. You suffocate because of your position that cuts off your airflow. So that's another way it can affect children.
So moral of the story is just let your kids be kids and not give them drugs.
Yes, and
Like,
beware the babysitter.
What's something you would look out for signs of a babysitter potentially doing that to your child?
Number one,
how would you know?
Run their rap sheet. It only costs $25 to get it. Also look at their driving history. Also, you can get that. Here's something that happened to me. I had a gap hour where I would have to leave to go work at night and between my husband getting home. And I was trying to find somebody to just watch them 1 hour. Of course, I'd have the nanny cam about 3 inches up their rear end, but I still wanted the greatest person I could find. So I interviewed these 3 sisters, 3 adult sisters. They really nice, great resumes. Well, they smelled. said, do either of y'all smoke? Because, you know, nicotine is a contributor to SID, sudden infant death syndrome. And they're all like, no. Well, I wanted to meet them a second time, not make a decision on one meeting. And I remember I met them in a parking lot, out in the middle of a parking lot. I got out of my car and went over there. They opened the door and it reeked of cigarette smoke. And I thought, not that that's the end of the world, but I thought if they would lie about that, if I can't trust them in something small, how can I trust them with the greatest treasure I've ever had, the twins? So I marched my rear end back to my car and slammed the door and took off. That was a no-go right there. But run rap sheet, run driving history, go online, look at them. You'll be surprised what you find on Insta and Twitter and Facebook about how devoted they are, and then you see them doing a line of Coke on the weekend. No, you don't want that. There are so many other things, such as surprise visits.
How would you feel if they outsourced help? They got regular people to help solve crimes.
I'd be thrilled.
Me too. I'm waiting for this opportunity. I feel like I could get shit done if they would just allow me to get shit done for them.
I know you could. Because you have a desire.
Yes. Yes. There are so many of us out there that are very passionate about this, and we just want to lock the bad guys or girls up. And it's like, just let me do it. Because the police move at such a slow pace. The whole system does. It drives me nuts.
And a lot of that, the slow pace, is because of our Constitution. There are so many protections in the Constitution for the defendant, none for the victim. And I get it, and I'm fine with that. But it makes for a very long and laborious process to get to justice.
We need a balance. It's like, yes, we need our constitutional rights, but I also want to get the bad guy. So
I agree.
How do we find a balance?
I agree.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me. I feel like I could sit here and talk forever about every case I have on my brain right now.
It's so much fun. I hope you like Bloodline Detectives. I hope you really love it.
I am very excited because this whole using DNA to solve crimes is everything. There isn't many unsolved cases, I'm assuming, right? They're all solved cases?
Oh, with these, well, I'm not going to tell you the end.
Yeah, I don't want to hear the end because I want to watch it.
You're going to love it. I hope you love it.
Oh, I will. I love anything true crime related, so I know I'll love it, and I know my audience will too. If it wasn't for you, I really wouldn't be here right now because you really came out swinging, giving your opinion. A strong woman who wasn't going to change anything for no man. You just came in, you did your thing. You're like, I want these guys locked up, and I'm not going to do anything for you people. I'm not going to change anything. And you've just been like that since day one. And that I respect. Because it's hard not to change yourself to please the people behind the camera or whatever.
You're right.
It's incredible.
That's hard. And I really appreciate what you said. That means a lot to me. Thank you. So I guess that's my final advice. Eye on the prize. Eye on the prize.
I like that. I like that. Well, thank you so much, Nancy. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, dear. Yeah, I got to go spy on the twins pronto.
All right. Well, thank you. Have a good day. We'll see you later.
Bye, dear. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Let me know, is this something you would like to see more of? Like, maybe we can have guests come on, tell me a story while I do my makeup. Idea. Let me know down below. Don't forget to check out Bloodline Detectives starting October 3rd. I'm going to leave down in the description box where you can find it. It's super interesting. I got a little sneak peek to the first episode. I'm not sure if I could say that or not, but it's really good. It's all based on DNA and it's fascinating. Fascinating. I hope you have a good day today. You make good choices. A big thank you to Nancy Grace for sitting down with fucking me, man. Who the hell am I? Hope you have a good day, you make good choices, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye.